Have you been recommended to use a CPAP machine for your obstructive sleep apnea and you were told to use a mask like this at night, but it's making your sleep even worse? Hi there, I'm Dr. Val Cacho, an integrative sleep medicine physician and women's sleep expert with over 11 years of experience in helping folks just like yourself. And today we're going to dive into why your sleep could be worse even if you're using a machine for your sleep apnea. Number one, it's really hard to get used to having something on your face blowing a bunch of air at night when it's dark and it's quiet and you're just anxious that this thing isn't really working or you cannot fall asleep. One thing you can do is something called desensitization, meaning get used to just starting off with a mask when you're reading a book or watching TV. Just have it on your face so you can get used to that sensation. Another thing that you can do is use something called the ramp feature. And what the ramp is, it's on your CPAP machine, it starts off on a really low pressure, and throughout the night, the pressure will increase or ramp up to a point where it's more comfortable and more gentle at night. The goal is to improve your sleep quality, and the way we can do so is by having the machine and the mask as comfortable as possible. If you're having trouble falling asleep because your pressure just feels too high, make sure you ask your doctor, or you can look online on how to turn on the ramp setting. You can set how long the ramp goes. Some of the newer machines have an auto ramp where you can sense when you're asleep and it'll increase, or you can set it for a specific time, anywhere between 5 to 45 minutes. So you aren't feeling like you're hit with a burst of air all at once. Another reason why people can struggle with sleep is because of mask leak. And it's really important to work with a good medical supply company and a physician to make sure that the mask sits well on your face, either around your nose or covering your nose and your mouth. Even if when you put the mask on, in the beginning of the night, one way that you can check it is just to feel if there's any leak around you, or the machines can also have a mask leak test where you can check that. But sometimes it may be fine when you're falling asleep, and then when you wake up, when the pressure ramps up, it starts to leak. So if that happens, then again, let your physician know, let your medical supply company know. Sometimes the pressure may just need to be decreased, so it's not going to go too high and do what we call jet liftoff, where the pressure is too strong and actually blows the mask off of your face. Another common concern patients have told me about is that they have to make the straps really, really tight so that it doesn't leak. Similarly to what I just mentioned, let your physician know. We can decrease the pressure so that can help, or find a different type of mask where it sits better on your face and it doesn't leak. Another issue that can affect your quality of sleep and make it hard to use a machine is having a dry mouth. And guess what? The previous two issues can cause this. If the pressure is too high, it can be hard to humidify that air, or if the mask is leaking. The good thing is that the machines have built-in humidifiers. This is what the humidifier chamber is here. You put distilled water in it, and then there are two settings that you can set. One is the temperature for the heating plate, which sits right here. Another is the temperature of the hose. And if you're having a dry mouth, I would say first thing to do is make sure that the hose you have is a heated hose. If it's a standard hose, right, the hose is 6 feet long, the humidified air by the time it hits your mouth can be really dry. How do you know if your hose is heated? Well, you can see my hose right here. It has this wire, and that is just what makes the temperature the same. So you can actually set the temperature of your hose to a specific Fahrenheit. Another issue, if you are still having a dry mouth and you've tried all these things, but you're using a nasal mask, is to consider a full face mask. And that's a mask that covers your nose and your mouth so that the air goes through your mouth is also humid. And another thing that you consider is a chin strap. And the way that works, it's a strap around your head that keeps your mouth closed. And ideally, that can keep the air from escaping, which also is a reason for someone to have a dry mouth. So a lot of different options if dry mouth is a concern. First is making sure the pressure isn't too strong. Second is making sure your mask isn't leaking. Third, make sure that the humidifier settings are okay. And another one is make sure your mouth is closed. As always, if you are struggling to use your CPAP machine and you've tried a bunch of things, talk to your doctor about it. There may be different settings that they can use. Maybe you need to be on a bi-level machine instead of a CPAP machine. Bi-level just means two pressure, one pressure when you inhale and then lower pressure when you exhale. Or if that's the case and you've tried a lot of things, there are also non-CPAP options. Now we have the weight loss medication called Zepbound. There's a surgery called the Inspire surgery. There's mouth guards. So don't feel like the machine is the only thing that you can do, and if you can't use it, then you're at a loss. Find a good clinician that'll listen to you, meet you where you are, and really help you along your sleep journey. All right, ladies, that's all for today. Hope you sleep well and have a great night. Until next time, bye-bye.